Hi, this is the Eagle's Nest, and I'm your host, Jeff Porcaro, and I'm here today with track and field athlete Riley Matsuoka. And Riley, I'd like you to talk to us a little bit and tell us about the events that you do and what year you are in school and a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So I'm a senior this year, and I'm on the track and field team. My events are the 100, the 200, long jump, 4x1, and sometimes they put me as a 400 runner, but I really am not a super big fan of it. But I sometimes run the 400 too. So
That's
yeah.
great. So, what have you been doing with yourself to kind of keep busy during this time where, we haven't been having track meets and other things? What are you doing to kind of stay fit?
Yeah, so I it's kind of been weird. And I know that everybody knows that it's been a weird time, but it's just I find myself with a lot of time not really knowing what to do now. I don't have track meets, now I don't have all these things going on. And so I've just decided to pick up some new hobbies and try to um put together some activities for my family because my little siblings are having a rough time with it too. So we had like an indoor camping thing the other night that we were doing, and yeah, some of my new hobbies. I've gotten into some some fun art stuff that I've been doing, making some cool infinity block things that I don't know if you know what those are, but they're random. And I also got a chameleon.
Oh, nice.
He's sitting over here in his cage. I just randomly decided to get a chameleon during this thing, so that was cool too. Yeah, just totally random stuff to keep me busy and occupied.
That's great. That's awesome that you're helping out your family and keeping them from kind of going crazy during this time. I know it's tough for a lot of people. So
Yeah, it's weird.
that's awesome. So, um, some people kind of get in and watch, movies and other things while we're kind of in this time where there's not as much structure and things going on. What would you say is your favorite sports movie that you've kind of watched in the past, and why would you pick that movie?
Well, so yeah, another thing that we've been doing during this quarantine time is me and my brother have been watching a different like new movie every night that we haven't seen before. And one of the ones that we watched the other night was Remember the Titans. And I feel like a lot of people have seen that one, but I hadn't seen it, so I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was super had like a good message. It was just entertaining, solid movie. So I would definitely
Yeah,
recommend that one for anybody.
that is a great movie and a lot of good lessons in it as well. So, if you had to kind of tell me who you look up to in sports or who your sports hero is and why, who would that be?
My sports hero is somebody that I ran with a couple years ago. His name's Dawson Stokes. He ran for Maple Mountain a couple years ago, and he's ever since I've run with him, he's been one of my heroes just because he is very talented, very hardworking, but at the same time, he's also very humble. And I think that is such a respectable thing in athletes is to um, kind of acknowledge where your abilities and your talents come from, and to always be trying your best and acknowledge that you can only do your best. And just the fact that he was so humble and so talented, I just think that just such an awesome um, energy and awesome person to be around. So I really look up to him.
That's great. So one of the other questions I have is as you're going out to compete and in the past when you've either you're getting on the blocks getting ready to run or you're getting ready to jump and do that, what do you kind of do to get in the zone and kind of get rid of the butterflies and be ready to go out there and perform?
Yeah. So to get rid of the butterflies, so this happened. This I do this not only with track, but I do theater too, and that happens a lot of times. Right before I'll go on stage, I'll also get butterflies in my stomach, and I always to try to calm that down a little bit. I always just think, hey, um, like all I can do is my best, and so as long as I'm doing my best, like I'll be fine. I should have nothing to worry about because that's what I have to offer. And also, like, it's fun. And I have to keep in mind that I'm doing it because I like doing it and it's fun, or else then it gets a little too serious. I have to remember not to take everything too seriously sometimes. And so just telling myself that just do your best and have fun, that actually really does help me with those situations.
Yeah, that's great advice, definitely. And as you've kind of been out and do your different drills and workouts, and a lot of it, whether it's like you were saying with your theater, what it's a lot of practice. What do you and your teammates do to kind of keep practice fun and make it fun?
Just just always joking around, because I feel like when we're at practice and we're running and we're out of breath, it can be easy sometimes to just feel like upset just because you're uncomfortable. That's why a lot of the times we'll be sitting there and we'll be wanting to do like drills and stuff. People like have their hands over their heads and they'll just not look like they're having a good time. So what I'll do, and me and my buddies do this, we'll just start cracking random jokes, just trying to get smiles on people's faces to make them want to be there, and to remember that we can like still have fun even if we're a little bit physically uncomfortable at the moment.
Yep, that's great. And with this, you have a lot of opportunities where you've do a lot of practicing and you've gone to a lot of events over the years. What would you say is your favorite memory from competing in high school?
Um, so I think one of my favorite memories from track at Maple Mountain is when it was the Nebo Invite sophomore year, and I was on the 4x1 relay team with me and three other seniors. So I was a sophomore, and there were three other seniors, and we hadn't practiced our handoffs at all. I hadn't practiced with these guys at all before. We were like, hey, let's just wing it. And we ended up just doing the best we could, just having a good time. And we ended up like breaking the school record by like half a second. And so now we have that school record, and we didn't even practice beforehand. So I just thought that was so cool. Just
That's
that I had a good time, and then also, snagged a school record. So that was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I actually remember that race and remember you guys pulling that out. And my kids were in track before they were throwers, so none of this running
Yeah,
stuff. But in following along the school, that record stood for quite a while. So that's quite an achievement you guys did.
yeah,
That's
it was awesome.
totally cool. Um, throughout the time you've had an opportunity to go to a lot of different locations to have track meets and stuff. Where would you say is your favorite venue or location that you've competed?
Well, so BYU is always a really cool experience to get to go to the BYU meet and state meet. I think that's always it's a different environment. And it's super cool. But I think my favorite place to compete at is actually Woods Cross High School. And it's not that there's anything super special about their track or anything super different about the meets. It's just I feel really lucky when I go to a Woods Cross meet. I feel like I perform better for some reason, and so I just feel like that's my lucky track up in
That's
Woods Cross for
the
some
lucky
reason.
spot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a good track up there, so it's nothing bad there at all. Um, you've when did you start getting into track and running and kind of start that journey and realize that's something you wanted to do?
Well, so I mean, I did the Hershey track meet in like third grade, right? And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I remember up when I got up to like sixth grade. I think I took third at that track meet in the long jump, and I was like, whoa, that was kind of cool. Like it was kind of cool to compete in this track meet and actually like accomplish something like that. And so I ran all through junior high too. And when I was in junior high competing, I was like, whoa, okay, this is actually way fun, and I love doing this, and I feel like I can um, really, really improve throughout the years and do it. So yeah, I think just all doing it all through junior high kind of gave me the experience I needed to know that I was like, oh, this is something that I really really enjoy doing.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's what makes high school athletics a lot of fun is when you really enjoy doing it and you get that opportunity to keep playing. And so one of the other questions we have is, what are, what's on the horizon for you? What are you looking to do when you get out of high school?
So it's kind of tricky now because now so many people's plans are up in the air, you know. But so what I was thinking was graduate high school. Um, I was going to work during the summer and hopefully go on some trips, and then I was also hoping to be in another community show. I was in a community show last year at the Hale Center Theater. I was hoping to do another one of those and then leave on my mission either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, and then go to college afterwards. But yeah, like I said, those plans are kind of up in the air now. So we'll see how that turns out.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun opportunities that are out there for you, and I think you'll do great at whatever you do there. One of the last questions I have is, you've been there, you've gone through a few years, and this year kind of was a disappointment to a lot of people. But what would you now, as a senior, kind of having some time to look back, what would your words of wisdom or advice be for those around you?
Yeah, so I've definitely had a lot of time to think about this stuff, and even throughout senior year, I've had some time to come up with some, I don't know, like life philosophies, I guess. And one of my main things that I've started to live by, especially this year, is don't don't waste time being sad where you could be being happy. And that sounds super cliche at first, but the thing is yeah, life's going to throw stuff at you that you don't like, and it's going to be really tough, and you will have reason to be upset. And I'm not saying don't be upset ever. Like, if something bad happens, obviously you have a right to be upset about it, but the longer that you sit and let that eat at you and let that take your focus away from things that you enjoy doing, that's just time that you're wasting. Like, it ultimately it does become up to you to decide, hey, I'm going to take advantage of what I've got and be happy and like be a light to everybody else around me and just make my life the best that it can be. So especially during this time where all of our things are being canceled, and it seems like, oh, I have very little to be happy about. I would urge everybody to please don't let that be your main focus. Please try to, as again, as cliche as this sounds, don't don't focus on the bad. Just try to pick out whatever good you can, because there's so much good that you might not even realize. So the more you try to focus on that, I promise, like, the happier you will be and the easier time you'll have getting through this whole thing.
That's awesome. Those, cliche or not, that's very good statements and understanding, and I love it. I've always kind of been a glass half full type of guy, so I love the positive spin on things. I love kind of having fun with the journey, and stuff doesn't always go your way, and it's
Yeah.
great that you can just say, yeah, let's move on. So very good.
Mhm.
Thank you very much for talking with us today, and glad that you were able to get an opportunity to come and talk to us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Great. Well, we've been speaking with Riley Matsuoka um, from Maple Mountain, one of our great track athletes, and we appreciate him and all of his words of wisdom. We want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to follow us on our social media. We have YouTube channel, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, all Maple Mountain Sports, and we have Twitter is Maple MTN Sports. We want to make sure you get a chance to follow us, like us, subscribe to the channels. This is an opportunity where we will continue to spotlight different athletes at Maple Mountain, provide live stream of events when the sports are back in session, and provide a lot of information about the games and events and activities. I thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Jeff Porcaro, and this is the Eagle's Nest.